This is The Way You Lead, a show for the new era of leaders who are ready to rise. I'm Joshua Church, and every week we explore how to lead from the inside out with strength, heart, and authenticity. Through stories, strategies, and conversations with embodied leaders, you'll gain what you need to lead yourself and others in today's changing world. The way you lead matters, and now is the time to step up. All right, welcome back to another episode of The Way You Lead. Grateful that you're tuning in. I want to start off today's episode with a question for you. I've got one question for you. Are your words truly aligned with your actions? And are your actions truly aligned with your words? This to me is what it means to live in integrity, is living in the way that you're speaking and doing the things that you say you're going to do and living aligned with that code. So I got kind of this bombshell dropped on me probably 8 months ago by a mentor and dear friend of mine, and this started in the realm of relationships for me. And then I realized how it had an effect. How you do one thing is how you do all things. And the way that you're showing up in honesty and communication with romantic relationships translates to the way that you're talking with your co-founder or your employees. It absolutely translates and relates. So we often send mixed signals without realizing it, especially in leadership and relationships. And that was happening to me. So I have for a long time been saying, I am ready to meet my wife. I'm ready to date seriously. I'm ready to call in a relationship for a divine relationship. And I'm ready to meet a person that I want to build a life with. And I've been saying that for a bit. However, this mentor of mine pointed out that my actions weren't necessarily aligned with those words. I was saying it, but was I actually living like that? Was I actually living like I was ready for that? And as I had to get really honest with myself, at first I was defensive. I was like, yeah, for sure. No, I really do want that. I'm totally. And then I was like, yeah, actually, let me think about that, because the way that I have been showing up in certain dating environments or relationships, and in terms of my communication or dating someone, going on dates with someone because I felt a connection, but I knew that it wouldn't be aligned long-term with certain values or things that I was looking for. That's not really in alignment with that. How would I show up differently if I was actually embodying those words of, I'm ready to attract my partner, I'm ready to find my wife? The way that I would show up for that is actually a different level than the way I'm showing up for now. It's kind of like, oh yeah, like I'm open to it, like, okay, cool, like I'm going with the flow, I'm open to it, versus like, no, I'm ready for this, I'm claiming this is something I desire, this is something that I'm going to align my actions to support. And that's so much of what happens, is we say we want something, but then we're not actually living in integrity with the vibration of that desire. We're not actually living in alignment with the actions that we need to take in order to be a match and receive that thing or achieve that thing. It's like, yeah, I want to be a business owner, I want to start a business, it's like, cool, are you actually doing it? Do you really want to do it? So it's a powerful question to ask yourself, and starts with honesty of like, get honest with yourself. Leadership starts with honesty of like asking, what do you really want? This is step number one. This is principle number one for living in integrity, is get honest with yourself. What do I really want? Define your guardrails, your edges, your non-negotiables. Get clear on what that looks like, because then that will help you take action and live in alignment with that. But it starts with getting real honest with yourself, and your personal clarity becomes your North Star, especially when things get hard. And it's important to have this. So I'll relate this to business in the sense that when Rob and I were in the process of liquidating the company and having to wind down, we got together and we aligned and we said, okay, we want to go through this process in a way where we can sleep well at night, knowing that we did the best and highest integrity thing, and that we did the best thing that was going to be the best thing for our customers, for our team, for our investors, and for ourselves, in that order. And we really lived that, and that gave us a compass. That gave us a North Star, and it made decisions easy. It made making decisions easy, but usually those decisions that we made were not the easy choices. They were not the easy actions to take, but it made the decisions easy, and we can look back and say like, yeah, we know we didn't cut any corners. We did the best that we could, and we can sleep well at night knowing that. So defining that North Star, getting honest with yourself, is really important. So that's step number one, is get honest with yourself. And then you check yourself. Check yourself. Number two, check yourself. Are you actually living that? what's your awareness level to that? Self-awareness is a key muscle for this, is being aware of this. And I would say just equally as important is being able to have coaches, mentors, therapists, people outside of your like actual circle of friends, but people that can see your blind spots and call you out. To have a friend or most of your friends just want to encourage you and support you. The real ones, and often it takes having a coach or a mentor or some sort of professional outside that just has your best interest in mind. And even then, they have to be a really good one to be able to call you out like that. But we need that. We need that feedback. We need to be checked. I needed to be checked. I'm so grateful that I was checked by my mentor there, because now it helped me be like, wow, you're right. I can now fix this and I can get in alignment with what I actually want. So it's important to be checked, and we need to check ourselves. So you got to check yourself. Chickadee, check yourself. Come on now. Now, number 3 is be impeccable with your word. This is a huge way to live in integrity. Is I think about it this way: is that I love watching some of the medieval movies or TV shows, and your word was your honor. It was your life, and you gave your word, and that was what you had. Like, you did not go back on your word. Even the bad guys, when they gave their word, they meant it. So we've lost touch of that. We've totally lost sight of that in today's world. And where we're giving our word, be impeccable with your word. It's one of the 4 agreements from your great book, 4 Agreements. It's the first agreement: be impeccable with your word. Your words create reality. Your words shape reality and shift reality. Your words are vibrations that have massive ripple effects into our universe. And so treat your word like it is still that thing of honor. When you give your word, you give it. Brief story I wanted to share from John Wooden. Legendary, one of the most famous coaches of all time, legendary UCLA coach, helped him win, I don't know, a dozen championships over the course of 15 years, something crazy like that. And he is one of the best leadership gurus that ever lived in how he was able to lead his team and his organization. And one of the things that he shares is, as he was waiting to get his job offer to go be a head coach, he really wanted to go coach at Indiana, or Minnesota, excuse me. He's from Indiana, and he wanted to go coach at Minnesota. And he talked with them. It was a top choice. We could stay in the Midwest, and they were going to offer him the coaching job. And they told him, all right, cool, we're going to call you at 6 p.m. And, we're going to call you at 6 p.m. with the final decision, the final package to offer it to you. And 6 p.m. came and he didn't get a call. 6:30 came, he didn't get a call. 6:45 came, he didn't get a call. And at like 6:50, he gets a call from UCLA, and UCLA offers him a head coaching job. And at this point, he thought, well, maybe Minnesota is no longer interested, or something happened and they don't want me there. And UCLA is offering something great, so I'm going to accept the UCLA role. So he accepts the UCLA role right then and there on the phone, and then hangs up the phone. At 7 o'clock or so, he gets a call from Minnesota, and the Minnesota owners and coaches are like, oh my God, we're so sorry. There was a massive storm, a power outage that wiped out all the phones, and we just got back on the grid. Like, we want to offer you the job. And he said, I'm sorry, but I just gave my word to UCLA, and I can't renege on that, and I can't go back on that word. So I'm going to UCLA to coach. And he made that decision and stuck with that commitment, instead of just being like, oh, I just told UCLA, but let me call them back real quick and let them know that you were my top choice, and just get lost in that. He stuck with his word, and he went to UCLA. And that's an amazing, like, think about that storm and what that did. I'm sure a lot of people were upset about that. A lot of people were happy about that as it came turn in history. But that's a great example of living in integrity, of being impeccable with your word. So don't give your word lightly, and don't break it carelessly. Of course, there's times where you need to renegotiate your word, and you need to revise and renegotiate and realign expectations on your word. And that's important to do. One of the things that I've found has been very helpful with being impeccable with my word as a leader is under promising and over delivering. So anytime I'm working with someone, a client, or just in work in general, or partner, I will always under promise and over deliver. So I will always give myself an extra couple days. If I know that it'll take me by the end of next week, I'll say the beginning of the following week. I'll give myself those extra couple days as a buffer in the weekend, just to give myself that extra space. And then sometimes I'll send it, by the end of the week, Friday, when I knew I was going to complete it anyway, and I'll send it over to them. They'll be a little stoked because it's super great and it's even ahead of schedule. So under promising and over delivering is a great way to also be impeccable with your word, and giving yourself a bit of that buffer, instead of being so wanting to please and wanting to over deliver right away. So the last part around being impeccable with your word is to be specific and clear about what you're committing to. Really be specific, really be clear, really get aligned on those expectations. That's massively helpful. So that's number 3, being impeccable with your word. Number 4, own your impact. Look, we're not always going to get it right. We're not always going to be in complete 100% integrity with our word. If we were, we wouldn't be human. So it's normal and it's okay that we fall off. What's important, and in my opinion, what true integrity is recognizing when you're off and taking full responsibility. That takes the most amount of integrity. That takes the most amount of humility. That takes the most amount of courage. And that is the strongest leadership, in my opinion, to be able to take accountability and to take ownership, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. That is a form of love and leadership. And that also builds trust. It deepens respect, and it shows maturity also, to be able to take that level of ownership and that level of responsibility, because the buck stops with you. And to know, hey, I have not been in alignment with my word. Hey, I realize I ended a relationship because of this. Because I realized this, and I realized that I was saying one thing, but I was living a different thing. And so I had to have a difficult conversation up front. Hey, I'm sorry. I realize this. I'm taking responsibility for this. And that was a very difficult conversation to have, but it was so well received, and it was so much, and I felt such a weight off my shoulders afterwards for myself getting back into alignment with who I am and getting back into integrity, even though it was really difficult because I didn't want it in that relationship, but it was not aligned with what I was looking for the long term, and I had to be honest with myself and be clear with myself around that. So owning your impact, that's the 4th one. Number 5 is walk the talk, baby. Are you living what you rap about? Are you living it? You got to live it. And integrity lives in the follow through. So show up. Whatever it is, whether it's for your team, your relationships, you're training for something, show up, like go all in and do the thing, and be in integrity with that. One of the great things that we did at Edge was doing the Ironman triathlon that Rob and I did. And it was amazing because we were living it. We were living what we talk about, finding your edge, pushing the boundaries, seeking discomfort. We were embodying that. So you got to walk the talk, you got to embody it, and build the habits that will reinforce these values and the micro moments of everyday life. And it comes to the micro moments and those little things like, what is one action I can take that will be in integrity with this goal that I have? What's one thing I can do today if I want to be a better leader? Okay, I'm going to read one chapter of a leadership book. I'm going to watch this one documentary. I'm going to watch this TED Talk from Simon Sinek on leadership. Like that one thing, that's going to make me a better leader. Cool. Let me do that again tomorrow. So what are these micro moments and these things, these actions that you can take that can allow you to show yourself and prove to yourself that you are that and you are living in integrity? So building that habit of those micro actions every single day is super important. All right, that's what I wanted to share today. So lead like you mean it, bring it together. 1, be honest with yourself. 2, check yourself and get other people in your circle to check you. 3, be impeccable with your word. 4, own your impact and take responsibility when you fall off course. And 5, walk the talk. Got to live what you rap about. That is embodied leadership. That is this new era of leadership that we need. So that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Can't wait to share more next time. See you out there.